Takta dehang punarjanma naiti. Mame. In his spiritual body, he comes back home, back to Godhead. So, the same thing is expressed here. Chiyante cha asya karmani drishta atmani ishare. He sees atmani drishta. He realizes his relationship with God, Ishare. He realizes that I am eternal servant of God, eternal servant of Krishna. Jiver Sarupa Nitya Krishna Das. He realizes it. And because he realizes it, he engages himself in that way, and that is the perfection of life. Viddante hidayagranti chiddante sarva sangsaya chiyante cha asya karmani drishta eva atmani sare. Read the purport.
Attainment of scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead means seeing one's own self simultaneously. As far as the identity of the living being as spirit self is concerned, there are a number of speculations and misgivings. The materialist does not believe in the existence of the spirit self, and empiric philosophers believe in the impersonal feature of the
This is doubt, whether there is soul or not. Chiddante sarva sangsaya. There are so many doubts for the material scientist. Somebody says there must be something, somebody says no, there is no soul. It is the combination of matter, the life symptoms come out. There are so many theories. So, actually when becomes enlightened by Krishna consciousness, his all doubts are removed. Gone.
And empiric philosophers believe in the impersonal feature of the whole spirit without individuality of the living being. But the transcendentalists affirm that the soul and the supersoul are two different identities, qualitatively one.
This is also another doubt, because the impersonalists, they think ghatakas patakas. That's like the sky is within the pot, and the sky is outside the pot. So when the pot is broken, the inside sky becomes one with the outside sky. That is their theory. So these doubts are also dissipated when one comes to Krishna consciousness, that these potakas means the sky within the pot, ghatakas, and the sky within the pot, it cannot be made analogy with the sky in the pot and sky outside, because they are individual souls. And the Bhagavad Gita is saying that they are part and parcel of God, Sanatan, eternally. Not that they have been cut off. Just like the sky within the pot is walled by the wall of the pot, but actually we are not walled, we are individual. Every one of us an individual. We are not surrounded by some material wall. This material wall is supposed to be this body. Actually we are individual, and therefore because we are individual, according to our individual karma, we have got different types of body. So these are the doubts. When one becomes completely, cognizant with the Krishna consciousness science, his all doubts are removed, gone.
There are many other things, but all these different speculations are at once cleared off as soon as Sri Krishna is realized in truth by the process of Bhakti Yoga. Sri Krishna is like the sun, and the materialistic speculations about the absolute truth are like the darkest midnight. As soon as the Krishna sun is arisen within one's heart, the darkness of materialistic speculations about the absolute truth and the living beings is at once cleared off. In the presence of the sun, the darkness cannot stand, and the relative truths that were hidden within the dense darkness of ignorance become clearly manifested by the mercy of Krishna, who is residing in everyone's heart as the Supersoul. In the Bhagavad Gita 10:11, the Lord says that in order to show special favor to his pure devotees, he personally eradicates the dense darkness of all misgivings by switching on the lights of pure knowledge within the heart of a devotee.
This is another advantage of the devotee, because Krishna shows a special favor to the devotee. Although he is equal to everyone, he is specially inclined and favorable to the devotees. Tesam aham anukampartham aham ajnanajantamo. He takes special care. He says, samohang sarvabhuteshu. Although he is equal to everyone, still he is specially inclined to the devotees. For the devotees, he gives special instruction from within. Jeno mam upajantite. This is the special advantage of a devotee. Go on.
Therefore, because of the personality of Godhead taking charge of illuminating the hearts of his devotees, certainly a devotee engaged in his service in transcendental love cannot remain in darkness.
So there is no question that a devotee will remain in darkness. Sometimes it is argued that mostly devotees are not very much educated. It doesn't matter. This external academic education has no value for spiritual advancement. So here it is said, aham nasayami atmabhavast. Krishna is within everyone, and if anyone is purified, Krishna takes charge and he instructs. And who can be greater instructor than Krishna? Therefore, it is a wrong theory that devotees are ignorant. They are full of knowledge. If one is actually a devotee, there is no lack of knowledge. That's the fact. Go on.
He comes to know everything of the absolute and the relative truth. The devotee cannot remain in darkness, and because the devotee is enlightened by the personality of Godhead, his knowledge is certainly perfect. This is not the case for those who speculate on the absolute truth by dint of their own limited power of approach.
Yes, one can speculate about the absolute truth to a certain extent. Therefore, generally, these speculators become impersonalists, because they cannot go beyond that. But that impersonal knowledge is not complete. As we have several times stressed on this point, one has to go further onward. Realization of Paramatma, realization of the Supreme Personality of God. But they stop only in impersonal view, that's all. Go on.
Such knowledge is called parampara, or deductive knowledge, coming down from the authority to the submissive oral receiver, bona fide by service and surrender. One cannot challenge the authority of the Supreme and know him also at the same time. He reserves the right of not being exposed to such a challenging spirit of an insignificant spark of the whole, subjected to the control of illusory energy. The devotees are submissive, and therefore the transcendental knowledge descends from the personality of Godhead to Brahma, and from Brahma to his sons and disciples in succession. This process is helped by the Supersoul within such devotees. That is the perfect way of learning transcendental knowledge. This enlightenment perfectly enables the devotee to distinguish spirit from matter, because the knot of spirit and matter is untied by the Lord. This knot is called ahankara, and it falsely obliges a living being to become identified with matter. As soon as this knot is loosened, therefore, all the clouds of doubt are at once cleared off. He sees his master, and fully engages himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, making a full termination of the chain of fruitive action. In material existence, a living being creates his own chain of fruitive work, and enjoys the good and bad effects of those actions life after life. But as soon as he engages himself in the loving service of the Lord, he at once becomes free from the chain of karma. All his actions no longer create any reaction.